How quickly will you get there now? Millionaire? Well, can we still talk about decentralization when it comes to the epitome of evil? Panic has hit the market. You can see it quite clearly. So many retail investors are now selling at a loss because the altcoin season, they're not coming back. The bull run, it's over. XRP isn't even breaking the $3 mark anymore. Just a few weeks ago, we were still hearing prices of $5, $10, $100. So is that it for XRP, or is there really still something to come? Today, we're going to look at all the facts. I would stick around. It's going to be exciting. I've done a lot of research. We'll see each other after the intro. Yeah, if you take a look at the overall heat map, it looks pretty intense. Partially dark red. So if we take a look at Airwax or even Zui, which is down almost 8%, XRP looks relatively solid with almost minus 4%. Of course, everything revolves around Bitcoin. I can also tell you a preview for tomorrow's video. I'm going to break down this whole cycle and I'll explain to you exactly what mistake you shouldn't make right now. But more on that tomorrow. First of all, a big thank you again. It's absolutely wild. But what you delivers. Well, when I look at this, we now have almost 9,300 community members. Mega strong. Also yesterday's video. Again, really awesome support delivered. Almost 1,600 clicks. And I'm really curious because what makes me especially happy are the like counts. So if you like this video, it's completely free for you and requires no effort at all. Click the button, leave a quick like. It really helps boost the algorithm. And of course, if you are new to the channel and haven't seen any videos yet, and if you're looking for a channel that delivers the most important crypto news in a fact-based, honest, and hype-free way, well, then welcome. Feel free to leave a free subscription. And of course, make sure to activate the bell so you don't miss any important information. And now, let's dive right in. Yeah, in the last few weeks, we've definitely had quite a bearish sentiment. One event has led to the next. But I also want to show that it's not always like that. Then immediately as green as it's being told, so for example, with Deepseek, the questions are getting bigger. Well, did they maybe stretch the truth a bit about the information they provided? But thief victory definitely made a much stronger impact in the crypto space, although we can also say that XRP has already recovered quite well. But then the next big blow came, which was the tariffs, where we've all already noticed that, well, for Trump, it wasn't really about the tariffs, but rather to make a statement and to get into a better negotiating position. But since that point and since these tariffs were announced, there was quite a tremor in the cosmos, and it definitely didn't go unnoticed by XRP. But I just want to clarify and call out again, that can quickly turn into a counter movement. So Trump, we all know, it feels like it's like a little ticking time bomb where every now and then some news just drops dramatically. Will be, well, now we've had the negative examples, but just imagine if suddenly tomorrow some really brutal ones come along. If positive crypto news comes out, then everything suddenly looks completely different. What made things even more difficult for XRP was the network outage. Now, okay, I don't want to make it sound worse than it is. Let's be realistic about Solana for everyone who's been in the space for a while. We had the whole thing already. How often? 6 or 7 times. So it wasn't that intense. Then it got complicated. In the end, what really happens is something that couldn't be answered so easily. Then there had to be some manual intervention, which sparked the discussion. Yeah, tell me, friends, how is it actually going with decentralization here? So I don't really know how you feel about that, so feel free to drop your thoughts in the comments. But a company like Ripple, which is officially working on the development of CBDCs, that is central bank digital currencies. Well, I don't really know if we can still talk about decentralization when it comes to the epitome of evil, especially since I've also talked about the so-called clawback update on the XRP ledger in the recent past. If you haven't seen the video yet and want to know the details, feel free to click here. Definitely, just for general understanding, there is the possibility to reclaim tokens under certain conditions. To reclaim tokens from the users' wallets. What? Okay, so, sorry friends, but that really has nothing to do with decentralization. In my world, well, maybe I'm just looking at it wrong, but I'll say that everyone who gets involved in the game should be aware that decentralization definitely looks different. Now for an update, but regardless, we're all in this space to make money. So let's be realistic here. And now the big question arises, yes, the 3 mark. Can it really be broken now? And indeed, that's a big question, right? Until a few weeks ago, nobody cared because it was clear that there was at least $10 in it. But suddenly you can feel that fear coming back. Yes, yeah, we had negative news, yeah, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. And we have, above all, some extremely bullish news. So there are people who claim that XRP could easily catch up to Ethereum. Yeah, how quickly are you going to get there? Millionaire, because in crypto, you always just want to become a millionaire. Well, that would be in relation to Ethereum's market cap. Yes. Friends, the discussion is going to start up again. Yes, XRP has nothing to do with the market cap. You can also, today, please write in the comments again and explain to me how this can't be related, because just for the sake of understanding, the market cap is calculated by multiplying the market price by the token. So how is the price supposed to rise without the market cap rising? So I don't get it, but okay. As I said, feel free to write down below. In any case, even then, so if Ethereum is caught up to, we're only talking about a, in quotes, 2 or 2 in 248. So everyone can answer for themselves now if they just invested, let's say, $100,000 or even $10,000 or $100,000 invested in XRP, whether that will be enough to reach $1 million. However, I don't want to deny that this could potentially take on a much, much, much larger scale. And of course, we shouldn't forget that we can also do the counter calculation. If we say that Bitcoin is caught up to, then we're talking about a price of $33.37 and a nearly 14x from the current position. But we shouldn't forget that Bitcoin also wants to increase its market cap. So that's the big relation behind it. Bitcoin could definitely rise further, and then XRP could, or of course, Ethereum logically still has to catch up. Because what's still hanging in the air here, I can tell you right away, this is not validated. Source, I'm taking this as an example right now because you really have to be incredibly careful. I recently talked about this in the video, how in this cosmos, some fake news is sold as breaking news, which has actually been available somewhere since November and so on and so forth. I also recently mentioned this on X, and here, exactly the same topic. Yes, the BRICS countries are betting on Ripple. To what extent now? Because I want to be quite realistic about this. I don't think it's out of the question that they're deliberately avoiding Ripple because Ripple is very close to the US government. Now, the topic with BRICS is exactly to say, yes, okay, we're kind of decoupling from the dollar here and take the monopoly of power from the US government or away from the USA. Well, and then a company is being relied upon that is very close to the US government. So, as I said, those are just my opinions on it. It would be crazy if that really happens. And if it's true that the XRP ledger is being used to this extent. For the BRICS countries, then that would definitely have positive effects for XRP. If you think that was it, well, there's still more to come. We're talking about a forecast of $4 trillion US dollars. So that would be about double what Bitcoin currently has. So we would then be looking at an XRP price of about $70. So I personally find that incredible. Utopian. So, and if that happens, it would be possible in a very, 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 very long time. Depending on the case, the largest asset managers would have to be involved, such as BlackRock, Fidelity, and Grayscale. And so on, plus XRP reserves come from the individual states, then that could well be the case. However, as I said, correct me if you see it differently. I think we're talking more about years. However, even then you could invest a mid 5-figure amount in XRP today to potentially become a millionaire. So I don't want to downplay this, and I personally believe that there's still potential and that the price can rise further. Only if someone out there is walking around right now and says, I'm not selling for less than $100. Guys, only realized capital is also real capital or actual profit. And many people forget that. So if you want to hold on to that indefinitely, it's going to take quite a while until we're in completely different spheres. And then some tokens are also coming onto the market. But let's take a look at the heat map right away. And for that, I'll move my picture a bit before I get another scolding about not being able to see anything, which is completely justified at this point. So if we take a look at this here, we have a corresponding sideways movement. I'll also talk about the chart again shortly. Definitely also on the daily view, what looks pretty cool and definitely appears bullish. This is the area that has now been picked up. And now it's getting interesting again. Are we up on our way up? Or will it be scooped up down here again? So the game with the market makers, I've explained it several times already, and I'll go into more detail about it in tomorrow's video. It's a big game of ping pong that we're witnessing right now, but it's definitely conceivable that we might aim for that upper area again. However, there is still capital down here. Let's take a look at the weekly view to see what awaits us. And there, yes. Okay, so we see there's definitely still something good to pick up here. It feels like everything is full up top, but still the price just doesn't want to move. And now the question is, what news is coming out? So I just want to make you aware of that. That's the topic with Trump. He could also stand up tomorrow and say XRP will be state reserves. Bam! The price, it's going to be blasted into all sorts of hemispheres. But we just don't know if such news will come. And right now, after this correction phase, we have a clean downtrend in place. And now it needs to break through again. So you can see it very clearly here. It's basically a staircase that has formed here. Well, you can't describe it any other way. If we now go into if we go to a larger view, then you can also see here, I'll draw it for you. We have more and more. We have lower highs here, and now it's going to be surprising, or rather, that's where it will be. We'll see what happens, whether there's going to be another downward movement, whether we'll get rejected here, or if it just continues to go down. But we also have lower lows, and this downtrend needs to be broken through now. And then the situation can look completely different again, because it's pretty crazy. When you look at the recent events and news, we had nicely picked up the PSIK pattern here as the only currency really fought back up cleanly and bought the tip directly. Only that with the penalty sells, it went well there, but then it stumbled a bit, and then the number came, they built all the way down. And then it went back up, but not to the original value. And we need to keep an eye on that now, but you can say that there are political news if you want to see them. So if you look here, for example, they are currently undergoing a complete restructuring, and they're just shoving all the people who don't quite fit into the picture into other departments. Here, for example, is a top lawyer who was actually leading the processes against Ripple and Telegram. He was just quickly transferred to the IT department. So these are always points where you can say, okay, they are currently moving all the opponents who have definitely caused a lot of damage over the past few years. And the fact that not everything that happened was logical is just being erased, and then new people are being put in place. But we're talking about governments, and that takes time. Everything just for a moment. Just a quick note on a topic that I also found during my research, an accusation of scandal. Ripple is suddenly secretly printing more XRP. So can we all please be realistic? The tokenomics of XRP has some pretty big gaps, or rather holes, in my opinion. However, nothing can just be printed again. And by the way, the topic I want to briefly mention here is the burning of XRP during transactions. Yes, that's minimal. But folks, if, for example, the BRICS nations use the XRP, ledger, or in general, as the trading volume increases, you can see it too. There's been a lot more activity on the DEX now. The more transactions that happen, the more XRP gets burned. In the long run, that can definitely make a difference in the price as long as the demand stays. But I believe in the XRP army now. It will probably hold on to that indefinitely. And Schwartz also nicely returned the favor and says, okay, a fork doesn't change the original. It's also kind of logical. Otherwise, Bitcoin could just be cloned. And now just a quick note on this topic of partnerships, because we shouldn't forget all of this. You see here, for example, with Ondo. Ondo had a huge summit yesterday. I also made a video about that yesterday. Feel free to click here to see what the potential of this project is. And Ripple is definitely at the forefront of the times. And Ondo uses the XRP ledger. And yes, we shouldn't forget that this takes time, but it's definitely reached the institutions. There's also more news here regarding the SPI group, where the CEO has clearly stated that there is a strategic partnership and it's getting stronger. And that's exactly this topic. Ripple is responding to the changing US politics and is working on it more and more. So yes, of course, you can accuse Ripple of interfering in US affairs, whether it's about the reserves and so on. On the other hand, you have to say that Garlinghouse is quite active in all of this. And here it's nicely written that more and more US financial institutions, they also recognize the benefits of crypto, and that could definitely have a positive effect on XRP, or rather on the XRP ledger. Finally, a quick look at my BingX grid bot, which handles exactly these fluctuations really well. Yes, before anyone starts shouting, it's currently overall in the red. Of course, that's logical because the price has dropped. But I want to quickly catch you up here. You see the individual grids, and it rises beautifully, then falls again, and has bought in everywhere, gone up, sold again, bought in, sold again. Up to here, it falls back down. That's exactly this topic, where the price fluctuations are handled perfectly. Sure, the overall price should rise again for now, but I personally see such a bot as a long-term investment. By the way, I did a live session about that last Sunday and talked about how to properly set up such a bot. That's from last week. If you're interested, feel free to click here. And now I'm curious about you. So go ahead and write in the comments below. Are you a big Ripple fan, or are you taking a bit of a step back right now? Are you perhaps in fear? Have you also realized profits that you might regret now? So let's talk about that, and please everyone, I will do it, you will do it, and everyone who comments in any way remains friendly. Let's discuss it openly and honestly, and otherwise, if you like the video, you can support the algorithm and my work a little. If you want, feel free to leave a like or subscribe to this channel for free and activate the bell so you don't miss any important information. In conclusion, I can give you the tip to check out this video as well. No, it's not an XRP video. It's about Ondo. I published it yesterday, and I can only give you the tip to check it out. Could play a big role in the bull run that I believe is not over yet. And B, the altcoin season is just about to really kick off. We'll see each other tomorrow in the next video. Until then, all the best. Ciao.